Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jewel and Arit here. Went to the library. No. Actually, the library in the kitchen. Welcome to the Quarantine Life. I'm Jewel. This is Arit.
Hello. This is episode number...
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that part.
12?
13.
13. That's why she announces it. Yeah.
And welcome to the Quarantine Life, episode 13.
Yes. So every day we've been hanging out with you guys at 6 p.m. PST, just showing up for you, chilling out, talking about different topics. You guys have been asking us questions about different things. As well as just letting you know what we're up to and that we're still showing up for work, still showing up for life, still showing up for our health and all of those other things, because it definitely seems like the world is on hold right now. But I mean, it's been a few weeks, so hopefully you've got your new routine down. You've become accustomed to this new normal, and at least for now, right? Because we don't know how long it's going to last for.
I should hope at this point that there's some sort of routine happening. If you are staying at home and are not having a job right now, obviously if you're an essential worker, then you already have a routine. You have to go into work. But if you do not and you are at home, I really hope at this point, it's like a month into it now, that you have a routine. And if you don't, create one. It's very important. It's how you're going to succeed during this time. This is a major opportunity. So I've just shared the streams around, and today, phone's going off here.
Yeah, I'll go put mine on silent too.
And today, wanted to talk about some books. So I've chosen very specific books from the library that have been pinnacle moments in my life and Ree's life. We don't have the same books that changed our lives. They're different. And so I wanted to do a little show and tell with our books and do recommendations for you guys. So one of the first books, this is the second version that came after it, but the very first book that changed my life completely was The Secret. But this one that I'm showing you is How the Secret Changed My Life, and it is the second one that comes after it. This book is about the book The Secret, and it's stories about how people read The Secret and how it changed their life. So it's really cool to have read The Secret and then reading this to see how people have used The Secret in their lives. And there's like true stories and stuff. And I think there's one person here from Vancouver as well. So there's all different kinds of stories. Now this book means a lot to me for a couple of reasons. So the first one changed my life. This is the second one. This book really means a lot to me because I made a video on the first book called The Secret. And I explained my story, much like how they write about in this book, my story of how The Secret changed. I just noticed the microphone's all the way over here, of how The Secret changed my life. And I put this video out just to share my story with you guys on YouTube. And I put this video like 3 years ago, like at least 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago. And then the author of this book is called Rhonda Byrne. And someone who works for Rhonda, who's on her PR team, saw my video and reached out to me. This was 3 years ago, and emailed me and said, Rhonda's coming out with a book called How the Secret Changed My Life. Would you like a copy? She'd love to send you a copy. I saw your video. And I was freaking out, and I was like, oh my God, someone from Rhonda's team saw my video, and I didn't even know she was coming out with the second book. And of course I would love the book. And then I said I would do an unboxing and I'll read it. I love the first one. So yeah, of course I'd like the second one. Well, they sent me a copy of the book. This is the copy. And it changed my life a second time because this was inside. It's a handwritten message from Rhonda, and it says, To Jewel, I hope this book inspires you to the next level of what's possible. Everything. Thank you, Rhonda Burns.
So amazing.
And when I saw that, like, I cried. I cried when I saw
She was filming an unboxing video, like unboxing, but of her like taking this out of the envelope and that kind of thing. And she had no idea that Rhonda had written something in there. So this was all being filmed on camera, and she opened it and she just kind of like stopped and started crying. It was such a real reaction.
Real raw emotional reaction.
Yes.
And I didn't even like, I was just expecting to get a free book, and I'm like, cool, I got a free book, you know? And I was really grateful that, you know, that they saw the video and sent it. And then I actually messaged the person who I was in contact with, and I asked them, is this like from a message from Rhonda? And then he said that yes, she handwrites every single message in the book and she autographs it, and this was directly from her desk in her office, and she sends them out. She physically sends them out. And then I filmed an unboxing of me doing this, and she actually saw the video. Rhonda, her person that works for her, sent the unboxing video of this book to Rhonda, and Rhonda was like at one of her cabins or something in vacation with friends, and they all watched my unboxing video. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed because like I cried, like I unexpectedly cried.
It probably really touched her. I mean, that's why she does, like, this is her life's work. So she probably really, really loved it.
So this is the first book, the first version, and then the second version. Let's say hi to some people on the chat. All right, we got here Fuzzy Randomness. Hey, ladies.
Hello, Fuzzy.
Hey, Fuzzy. Your picture always makes me smile.
Love it.
Dawn Does Life says, what's up? Hey, Dawn. How are those masks going? Did you end up making them? Roland's here.
Hi, Roland.
And we've got Katie.
Katie, how's it going?
That happened to you as well, but with a different book and no signature. What book was that? Please let us know. Cool. Dawn said, that video was so sweet. Jewel made me cry when I saw it. Yeah, I was like not expecting that when I opened it. Because I remember like unboxing and I was like, and I saw the text and I was like, and it said to Jewel. I just like in big lettering. And then I was like, oh my God, this is
a
amazing.
Pretty cool reaction video.
Yeah. And then Liat says, hi, Arit. Hi, Jewel.
Hello, Liat.
Liat says, happy Passover. Happy Passover to you, Liat.
Yeah.
Did you celebrate? What did you eat? And we've got Jojo, Jewel, and Arit. Hi.
Hi, Jojo.
All right. Dawn said, I did make 2 so far. You made 2 masks.
Cool.
I'm trying a different pattern tonight. Awesome. That's so cool.
Would love to see that.
You got to be resourceful. You got to make your own, right? You want to talk about another book?
This
you choose
this one.
This one?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Ask and It Is Given. So some of you might have heard that. Hey, Nicole, how's it going? For those of you who just joined, by the way, we're just sharing our books that have really impacted our lives throughout this whole entrepreneurial journey. And so some of you might know that right now we're listening to an audiobook by Esther and Jerry Hicks, so the same author, but it's specifically on the topic of money, right? It's money and something else. I forget what it's called.
Money and the Law of Attraction, it says.
Yeah, so Money and the Law of Attraction, which, by the way, that's what The Secret is about too. It's kind of the same, like the Law of Attraction kind of thing.
So this is...
Yeah, that's what we're listening to right now. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Esther and Jerry Hicks. This was one of the first books that I ever read. And it was also like when I first picked this up, it was like the weirdest as well, because it was, first of all, it wasn't in the personal development section or anything like that. It was I went to the bookstore Chapters, which is over here, or it's called Indigo now. But yeah, I was looking for it and I had to go to the New Age section,
whatever that means.
And I'm like, I don't even know. I've never been to this section of the bookstore before. So I'm like, what is this? But like a lot of people that I look up to recommended this book. So I started reading it and it like just blew my mind because it really it talks a lot about, again, law of attraction, attracting what you want, but really putting your focus on what you actually desire rather than the lack of it. So we're so programmed and so used to thinking about what we don't want, what we don't like, what's not going right in our lives. But Esther says that that is all happening to you because it's a form of contrast that is making you, that is calling attention to what you do want, what you do like. So when you know what you don't want and what you don't want in your experience, your life experience, it's actually calling attention to what you do want. So it talks a lot about shifting your perspective from the lack to actually manifesting what you want, and focusing on that and thinking about things that you do want and how you do want things to be, and that you do want to make money, that you do want to be healthy and happy and all of these things. And when you do that, that comes into your reality. And I can tell you guys, like when I first read this, I was like, is this really true? I didn't really quite get it.
This is like 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago I read this book. But I started doing some of the exercises because there are exercises in here for different things. Like if you want to manifest better health, for example, or more money in your life, or like there's one over here. This is a process or an activity for releasing resistance to become free of debt, and just like different things in here. And I pick and chose the ones that I wanted to do. And it actually does work. It works when you really focus and think more about what you do want, and weird opportunities and circumstances happen, and the universe just kind of makes it happen for you. So yeah, this book has really, really impacted my life. Another thing is that it's like the author is Esther and Jerry Hicks, but and I don't know how to explain this, but it's like Esther is actually, she says she's channeling some other thing, I guess, like her
energy.
Yeah, like her intelligent energy or whatever, called Abraham. So I guess that's why it was in the New Age section. It has like this whole other thing behind it. But in any case, like the content of this book is really, really valuable.
Yeah, so that's Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks.
Yes, and that's why it says The Teachings of Abraham.
And this is the one that we're listening to right now, Money and the Law of Attraction on Audible. We've slowly moved to audio books over the age. I haven't bought a book in a while because I just get them like on Audible now.
This book isn't like, if you're new to the world of personal development, I wouldn't say this is like the first book that you should read. It might be kind of like a strange jump to just kind of dive into something like this. Unless you're very open-minded, then yeah, by all means do it.
Very base level would be watch The Secret on Netflix. Watch it on Netflix to get the feeling for it, because if you do have no idea what's going on with that, then it might be like, what is all this stuff? It might be like really over the top. So yeah, I would watch that first. Then I would read the actual secret book. And then I would read the second version, is How the Secret Changed My Life, and actually read other people's stories of how they use the secret. Yeah. And that'll give you like a basic baseline. And then you can get into that one, which is like the crazy stuff.
The good stuff. The good and crazy stuff.
Yeah,
I just wanted to, she said, what's the name of the author? Esther and Jerry Hicks. Just in case you didn't get it. Esther and Jerry Hicks is the author of this book.
Like this Audible book is like, it's like a question and answer type thing. Like people send in questions and then like Jerry's reading them and then Esther's answering them. And it's kind of just like literally a back and forth the whole time. And you're just listening to these questions and answers, and they're kind of like statements, you know? Mm-hmm. It's not like a traditional book.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through here. Victor says, hi guys, what are you guys up to during this quarantine? Still pretty much doing the same thing a lot.
Yeah.
We are creating our Creative Business Academy online, been working on courses YouTube like crazy, been uploading videos to our YouTube channel because our growth is like really popping right now because everyone's online. Pretty much just being really focused and continuing to get through this. Pretty much we only leave to get groceries, and but we stock up for a good chunk of time.
Yes.
And Jojo says, let me get a pen and paper. I'm writing this down.
Awesome.
Yes, please do. And then Nicole says, looks very sunny and bright there. Yes, it's getting brighter and brighter each day.
Actually, that's why we're in tank tops right now, because it's actually quite warm in here.
It does this greenhouse effect here where when the sun comes in through the big windows, it like makes it really warm and hot in here. And then
being outside.
Nicole says, always looking for a good book to read. Awesome. We have a bunch more to share with you guys. And there's even more. Like these are just the key moments ones in the lives. And then Tim says, hello. Hey, Tim. How's it going? And Jason. Oh, where are we here?
Jason, how's it going?
Hey, Jason.
Good to see you on here again.
And then Tim says, I need to go, but good to see you're still working hard and being leaders. Way to go. Awesome. Yes. Well, we learned a lot from you, Tim.
We really did. And thanks for stopping by, Tim.
All right. Let's go on to another book here.
Yeah.
Now,
what's your next one?
This one was recommended to me by like a lot of entrepreneurial people that I was around in 2010. 2010, if you don't know, is the year that we decided we were going to become entrepreneurs. It was pretty much decided on the way back from a Starbucks. We were walking back from a Starbucks and we're like, a lot
led up to that.
Should we like, let's just create a business? And then we're like, yeah, let's do it. And then I ended up getting a business, you know, those books for dummies. Well, there was one for business, and it was in Narit's dad's library in White Rock, and I took that book down. I said, okay, let's start a business. And our first business was creating a greeting card company because we were both crafty in high school. I was really into the arts and like painting, sculpting, 3D sculpture, and paper mache. And Narit was really good with like paper, construction paper, designing cards and things like that.
Arts and crafts too, yeah.
Yeah. So this book was recommended to me by a lot of people. This is it's an old book. It's a very old book, and it's very I guess you could say dry, to be honest. It's a dry concept. So I like listening to it in audio form. And you can tell it's definitely older because of the way that they speak and the language that they use, but it has very good principles to follow. And it's really cool that this was written like so long ago and they were even thinking like this. Let me see if I can find what year it came out.
So the movie The Secret,
1960 or even earlier.
The movie The Secret is actually hosted by this guy named Bob Proctor. And Bob Proctor's one and only book that he read over and over and over again that made a huge, massive impact in his life was this book, Think and Grow Rich. And it, again, similar to the law of attraction, like shares with you to write down what you want and, you know, and read it to yourself every single day.
It's like rules and things to think about and follow.
So at the time, this is written by Napoleon Hill, and at the time he was, I guess, commissioned or asked by someone else to study all of the really successful people, including Henry Ford at the time, really successful entrepreneurs at that time. And he put everything that he learned in terms of what makes them successful in this book. So it really is a staple in terms of books to read for entrepreneurs and for really getting in the right mindset, success mindset.
Roland said, I only got halfway through Think and Grow Rich, never picked it up again. Yeah, the thing is, it is a very dry concept. So that's why I recommend watching. It's on YouTube. And you can definitely get it on Audible as well. Listen to it. It's easier to get through for me even. I had a hard time reading it initially, but it was recommended by so many people. So that's one. Here, choose another one.
Yes. Let's talk about this one. High Performance Habits. So this is by Brendan Burchard or Bouchard or whatever. Sorry, Brendan. But yeah, this book is, again, so Brendan, he is a high performance coach. He coaches really super successful, like Olympic athletes, Fortune 500 CEOs, like super successful people from different industries. He even has his own high performance institute that he created, like an academy for doing research on what makes those people, those kinds of people, really great at what they do. He wanted to know whether it's like, is it something that you're born with? Like, is it something that is in the genes, or can it be learned? And every single study that he did, and he has like a ton of research on this topic on high performance, everything that he learned was that it can all be, high performance can be achieved through a set of habits. I think there's six habits. And these are the habits, they're on the back. So the habits are clarity. So high performing people are really, really clear on what it is that they want. The second one is energy. So high performers have a way or some sort of, I guess, practice of regenerating energy. So they always feel like they can get energized or motivated for what they want. There's not like a depletion of it. So they have practices for that. The third one is necessity. They all have this kind of innate duty to be successful, to be greater than or bigger than themselves. And this isn't like ego or anything. This is just like, these are all habits that they practiced over and over and over again in their lives. Next one is productivity. That's self-explanatory. Influence. They all have some form of influence over others. They're seen as role models. And then courage, the habit of courage. So continuously putting themselves out of their comfort zone. This book dives deep into each of those high performance habits. And that's why it's called that. And in an easy to understand way. So Brendan shares like the research behind what he discovered for each of those habits, and he also provides activities for how you can work each of these habits on your own. And I really love this because this kind of speaks to my personality. Like I love books that give you activities and concrete things and not just kind of theory. Like, I guess this is more theory. This is a great book, don't get me wrong, but it is more theoretical and it's just interesting to read. But I love it when there's like concrete activities and that kind of thing. And I even have like the high performance planner that goes along with this book, where you write out a set of prompts every morning and also every evening to kind of work on generating these 6 habits. So really great book.
It's an intense planner. It's
How Extraordinary People Become That Way is the subtitle. High Performance Habits, the title, and then that's the author there.
It's pretty they're heavy duty planners. They're pretty big and you need multiple per year. So it's not like one book per year. You need like 5 or 6 for the year or something. One book is it for every 2 months or something.
One of the books.
Yeah. And they're usually sold out on Amazon because people buy them like crazy. But they're pretty intense planners.
So this is what one day looks like. And you can see here, there's little prompts, morning mindset. So you kind of write out all of these things, like one thing I can get excited about today. If one word could describe the person I want to be today, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. And then there's an evening journal as well, and a place to put your appointments. Yeah. So I'm I love Brendan's teachings, and highly, highly recommend that book.
Also, we listen to that one on Audible as well. A lot of the times, actually, pretty much nowadays, if a book is being released, it is automatically being released on Audible as well.
I think for this particular book, this is more so like if you have been already work in the entrepreneurials for a bit, or you kind of feel like you're plateauing and you want to spice things up a bit or get better at productivity or better at putting yourself out there, at being a leader, this will really help with that.
Changed me was the 5-second rule. And I don't have the physical book here because my mom actually has it. She took it. But I also listened to the audible version as well. It's by Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. And this, ever since I found out about the 5-second rule, I use it all the time as a tool, as something when I need it. So I'll give you an example. Mel Robbins did a TED Talk, and she explained the 5-second rule. Basically, your brain talks you out of doing things that are scary all the time because it wants you to go back into the comfort mode. Mm-hmm. It doesn't want you to do things that are scary or that make you feel anxiety or nervous. It wants you to feel comfort. It wants you to feel like relaxed. So that's why it's always talking you out of things that, should I ask that question? Should I do that speech? Should I go work out and feel like in pain and stuff? Your brain's always trying to talk you out of that. So she came up with the 5-second rule. And when you read the book, you'll learn the story of how it came to be. But basically how it works is when you are faced with a decision of some sort, before you can even think, you need to count down quickly, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just do it without thinking. And I'll tell you, this is how I was able to jump off the Stratosphere Hotel in Las Vegas, almost 1,000 feet in the air, and all you're just attached to, it's not a bungee cord, it's a cord, and you feel like you're falling, not to your death. I didn't feel like free falling, yeah. And that's how I was able to jump off of that, of someone being like totally terrified of heights. You have to, and she teaches you how to do it, because you can't just be like, yeah, just count from 5 and then down and then boom, you're good. She explains the whole thing and the science behind it and all this kind of stuff. So I did read that book, and I also listen to the audiobook. She also has another technique to deal with anxiety, because I used to deal with a lot of anxiety, and she did as well, is that she has these researchers, and your brain cannot distinguish an emotion until you've identified it yourself. So I'll give you an example. If you're feeling anxiety or scared, it's because you've told yourself that this is the feeling of anxiety and of being scared. That's why you're feeling that. So what she says to do is, when you feel that, tell yourself something else. So whenever I get this feeling of anxiety, I immediately start telling myself, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm really excited. And I just start saying that to myself when I have to do like a speech in front of a networking meeting or just something that makes me really nervous. I start chanting that in my head, and I just go, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm really so excited right now. And I kid you not, after initially it's like you're just saying it and it's like clearly you're not excited, but after saying it for like a minute, 30 seconds, I become excited, and it dissipates and it turns into something else. And she used to use that technique and others because she used to be terrified of plane rides, taking plane rides, and she's a speaker, so she had to use her own techniques to get through that. So I recommend the 5-second rule as just a general book for people. That one's really good. I really like Mel's style.
It's probably really good for procrastination.
Yes, yeah, that kind of stuff too. Let's see here. We got a couple comments. Jojo says, by the way, Arit's community post. Oh my God, so inspiring. Thank you so much for posting / sharing that.
I'm so happy you really liked that, Jojo. Thanks for letting me know.
Hey, Product Patrol. He does a live stream 1 hour before us, and he does product reviews, and he's going through this crazy game set thing, and there's like 600 games, and every day they go through like 3 or 4 games, and it's just like it's a fun time to watch.
Yeah, all of those emojis he put in his comment, that pretty much sums up his channel.
That's cheeks for sure. And then Product Patrol doing his rounds. Hi, hello Lemon Drop. Hi Roland. Hi Don. Still freaked out when you mentioned that. Yeah. Yeah, that's like the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. Roland says a book I read that really inspired me is Read by Sammy Hagar.
Ooh.
Most people wouldn't realize it, but he's a really smart businessman.
I haven't read that.
Yeah, I haven't read that. Thanks for the recommendation. Let's see here.
Roland said more about that book.
Whoa.
He has such a
knack for making great business decisions. He is loaded and does so much charity.
Nice.
And then, of course, there's a lot of stories based on rock and roll in the book, but it all ties it together. The one reason why Van Halen broke up and are still not back together. Oh.
Interesting.
You've piqued my interest with this comment.
I'm wanting to read more because it has to do with music too, in a way, right? Music and business. That's really cool. I'm gonna look that up. Thanks for the recommendation.
Product Patrol says, love Sammy, nice to know the book. Thanks, Roland. And then Jojo said, you did what? Brave girl, applause, applause. I did a vlog on it. I actually filmed myself jumping, and you can see my face. I'm going through something traumatic just before I jump.
And you can hear the screams too. Massive screams.
It's on the channel. Type in like our name, like Estatina or Jewel Stratosphere jump, and it'll come up. Let's see. Gavin said, I just had to pop into your live stream to say, keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Gavin. And then Roland says, hi, Cheeks. Nicole says, gotta head out for my nightly walk. Nice to see you tonight, and we'll see you again soon. Good night.
Enjoy your walk,
Thank you, Nicole. Enjoy your walk. So, yeah, that was the 5-second rule. And then here, you want to say one of these books?
Yeah, well, I'll touch upon this. I mean, I read this a long time ago. This was one of the first, I guess, entrepreneur books.
Yeah, it's
that
very
I
much
ever read.
Very much after The Secret. Very 2010.
4-Hour Work Week completely changed my perspective of what life can be like your lifestyle design and that kind of thing. Because when I was reading this, I had my 9-to-5 job working at an employment assistance mental health program company. So basically, I was helping connect employees with the clinicians and counselors in our company so that they can get their mental health benefits and counseling done through our company. So anyways, that I was like in an administrative, national administration position in that office. And I didn't know like much of any other kind of lifestyle. And then when we started kind of tuning more into some of you guys know the story, but when we had our 9-to-5 jobs, I had one of my coworkers invite us to a business networking meeting. And I had like no real desire to go, but I knew that Jewel was really interested in that kind of stuff and being her own boss and entrepreneurial.
I had just read The Secret.
Because she had just read The Secret. So I invited her, and I'm like, let's all go. So from that networking group, that's where we learned a lot about these personal development books that we first started reading, and really opened our eyes to a new way of living, to, really getting to design your day-to-day the way that you want, and not having to be a slave to the money, basically, and to give up all of your happiness and for like 40, 50 years, whatever it may be, and then only get to live your life. So this book talks a lot about how to design that kind of lifestyle. And there's a lot of things I would say in this now that might be outdated, just because at the time he provides a ton of
He's a resource writer for sure.
Like all of these tools and websites and all that kind of stuff that are super helpful for automating processes and emails and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very hands-on, again, because I like that kind of stuff. So yeah, some of that stuff might be outdated, but the concepts in here and like the possibilities of what you can do to design your work week so that you're more time efficient and you're not slaving away, you're working smarter, not harder. That's what this book is all about. So that was really influential for me as well in the beginning stages of this entrepreneurial journey.
I'm going to actually pull up that video for people and I'll show them.
Which video?
The jump.
Oh, okay. We're doing like a live watching
watch
party here.
Yeah, watch party here. Okay. Oh God. Just looking at the thumbnail, I'm like, oh no. Okay. Share screen, share audio. Hopefully you guys can hear this as well. Okay, so share the screen.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. And let us know if you can't hear anything, but I'll just play the clip like in the very beginning.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jill
I'll
Tolentino.
skip to the actual jump.
It might be kind of laggish.
I know. Where's okay? Wait. Oh,
there we go.
Okay. God.
Wait,
I just want to make sure people can hear us. Okay. Let's put the volume up. Totally, this jump is sponsored by Mountain Dew. Okay, here.
Okay. Wait for me here. Go ahead and come on out.
The 5-second rule was the reason why I was able to do this jump, by the way.
You can go ahead and jump back around and wait.
Oops, sorry, I just want to make sure that. Oh my God. I'm remembering this.
Go ahead and turn to your right. Both hands over there on the green for me.
It's literally just the tiniest platform, and you're out there, and there are tourists. There are tourists inside the stratosphere, all videotaping you, watching you, looking at you. I couldn't look at them because I was so nervous.
What a gorgeous view.
More on the yellow for me. Wait for my countdown. Here she comes. 3, 2, 1, go!
There's a Reed's view from the bottom.
Yeah, I was filming her from the bottom of the stratosphere. You can hear me laughing.
There's me landing. At that point, I was having a panic thing. I was having a panic attack for sure. I was like hyperventilating inside, and I really needed to control myself. And I had to use the techniques in the 5-second rule. I had read that book a couple years. I've read it multiple times, listened to the audio. I watch Mel Robbins all the time. And so on the edge there, she's counting. I think she went 1, 2, 3 or something. Here she goes. And I was counting in my head 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I told myself that you cannot hesitate when it comes to the jump. Otherwise, you could totally back out. Because I'm terrified of heights. Like, I'm not a person that likes to be up that high on the edge or something. So definitely, I learned the technique from the 5-second rule. So I use that to my advantage all the time. Hope you guys enjoyed that little one. But
the 5-second rule can be used for many other things, not just jumping off the stratosphere.
Yeah. I was a little extreme with that, but I wanted to be extreme. I wanted to set the tone for January 1st, specifically 2020. I wanted to set the bar high. I wanted to do something so scary that everything else wouldn't be very scary to me. So Dawn says, what a gorgeous colored suit is sponsored by Mountain Dew. Jodo said, the look on your face. Yeah, it's pretty traumatizing.
Complete terror.
Everyone always comments on my face, and like my aunt keeps doing impersonations of me whenever I see her. Yes, thank you so much. I'm remembering the feeling right now as I watched it. Screaming is a good thing because if you don't, you might forget to breathe. Oh,
Good comment.
It was actually hard to breathe while falling from that height because there's like so much wind happening that it was hard. Like you could, by the time you get down to the bottom, you need a drink because your mouth is so dry.
Maybe that's why it's sponsored by Mountain Dew.
I didn't have a Mountain Dew after. Another book that I would recommend is Atomic Habits. This one we only have on Audible. I recommend listening to it on Audible because the way that he speaks, and I don't know, I learn better through audio. And so this is another book that has changed my habits completely. It's the reason why I'm sticking to certain schedules now and how there's a whole routine happening right now during this coronavirus. Like, it teaches you why you do your bad habits and how to break them. And when I understood them and when you know about them and it's like, oh, that's why I'm doing that, it's easier to recalibrate and to start new ones.
Yeah, it's really, really insightful, actually. We, as humans, are creatures of habit. Everything that we do revolves around some form of habit. And once you understand why you do the things that you do and why you've been primed that way, it's easier for you to take that, what you just learned, and apply it to getting rid of bad habits, breaking bad habits, which are really, really tough to do. And also forming better habits. How can you make it a habit to eat healthier every day, or to read some of a book every day, or so it's like, you know, it allows you to, again, design more of what you want in your life, because if you know the things that you need to do and that you want to do, but you're always not finding the time to do it, or you just don't get to do it, then this is kind of a way to help you ease into that. I used that book to help me get started up again with meditating, because I know that's something that's really, really good for me. It gets me clear, and like all of the mess, all of the thoughts or whatever, they're gone, and I'm able to just really focus on what I need to do. So it starts off with saying, like, if there's a habit that is really, really tough to get into, do the 2-minute version of that habit. So rather than, you know, you wanting to meditate for like 30 minutes a day,
that might be a huge stretch for you.
Exactly. Dumb it down to 2 minutes. So can you do 2 minutes of meditation a day? And I absolutely could. In fact, when I started doing that, which I did start off with 2 minutes after reading that book, I felt like 2 minutes wasn't enough. So naturally, I wanted to increase it, and it makes it easier to start from there. So there's just little things like that he teaches you how to do, and they're very, very helpful tips. Really great book.
And the last book here is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Yes, this was recommended to me by a coworker after I read The Secret, because I was telling everybody about The Secret, and I still had a 9-to-5 job at an insurance company in downtown. And I was telling people about this book, and I was carrying the book around everywhere. It was in my briefcase all the time. And then this other guy that I worked with was like, oh, if you like that book, I think you'll like this book. And then I was like, and he said, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And to me, the name sounded like so weird. I'm like, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what? And you find out that Robert Kiyosaki, he had kind of like two dads. So he had like his actual dad, which he considered to be the poor dad because they weren't very wealthy growing up. And then his friend's dad that was wealthier, he was like a business person. And so that's why he called it Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And when I read that, I was like, I kind of like have a rich dad, poor dad type thing. Because growing up, my parents always made it seem like we were poor. I'm just going to just say that. They were always like, we don't have money for this. We don't have money for that. Later on, I find out that we were in the middle class range and we were not anywhere near that. But they like made it seem like that when we were growing up. Always talking about, not having enough money, can't buy that, too expensive. that, money doesn't grow on trees, all that type of thing. So that was considered my poor dad, but even though we weren't, but they made it seem like that. And then the rich dad was Urit's dad, because he has had his own business for a long time. And he just talked in a way that I'd never heard before. And he introduced us to like the concept of business and like making money for yourself.
My dad is
like,
a leader himself.
Yeah, he's a total
Very much a
leader, total entrepreneur, total business person. And at the time he would say stuff, like we would just come back from like Pizza Hut or something, and he would like give these lectures, and we'd always be like, "You're crazy. Like, why are you talking like that?" And like, we just want to like go to the movies. And like, he would always say stuff like these like, and now when I look back at it, I'm like, oh, that's what he was talking about. And he was actually talking about the law of attraction, like when I was in high school. And I thought the concept was crazy.
Yeah. So this is helpful in terms of thinking differently about money, because that's like kind of the comparison, is the way the poor dad thinks about money and that whole thing, and the way the rich dad thinks about money. So
yeah. So I would say it reminded me of that. So those are all the books. Let's do a quick recap. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki.
4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Francis.
Atomic Habits, James Clear.
For those of you who are writing down.
I know.
High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard, I'm going to say. Burchard.
The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks.
Money and the Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks.
And we're probably going really fast. Maybe we'll put these in the description afterwards. But How the Secret Changed My Life by Rhonda Byrne.
And The Secret, which is, I don't have it right now because my dad's reading it. But so The Secret and How the Secret Changed My Life, both by Rhonda Byrne. All right.
There's a wealth of information in these books.
There's more books that we've read.
Man,
this isn't the only ones, but
yeah.
These are some of the ones that were like pinnacle in the moments of life.
It just really helps to plug into all of these books, to constantly plug into the minds of these authors, because we naturally default to our usual ways of thinking and society's ways of thinking and all that kind of stuff. So it helps to flood your mind with these positive thoughts and these new perspectives, new ways of thinking and attracting what you want, because they really do help. They really do work.
And if you're someone that doesn't really like reading, which I know that there's a lot of people like that, listen to them. Get an Audible account. It's totally worth it. And they even do like a 2 months or 2 books free type thing. If you don't have an account already, you can get 2 books for free, completely free, and then try it out. To me, investing in yourself is completely worth it. We have been investing in ourselves for years, like long time, with books, seminars, conferences, and it all leads up. It all builds you up.
It's all stacks of bricks, brick by brick.
All right, so that was it. Thank you guys so much for watching the Quarantine Life episode 13. We will be back here tomorrow at 6 p.m. PST for episode 14.
Yep, I'm just going through to see if there's any other comments. Daniel, you asked a question about fillable forms. I'm assuming you've watched one of the fillable form tutorials that we have on our channel. Leave your question as a comment on those videos and we will get to it. Also, I didn't quite understand how you can detect fillable boxes again.
Pretty much you need to exit out of it and reopen it. If it's not detecting it manually in the prepare form tool, which it should, but if it's not, then you need to manually create those forms and fields, text fields and things like that. So if after you open it, it's not working, then the software didn't detect it, so it needs to be manual.
Quick answer. Thank you, Jewel. Great. Everyone's saying great books. Yeah, you're very welcome, guys. I'm really happy this helped. Roland. Oh, I thought you were clicking on Roland's.
Oh, where are we going here?
I don't know.
I love it when something you learn completely
Oh,
changes
yes.
your outlook and perspective. Yeah, I'm always looking for those moments. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Keep safe and vigilant. Roland said, lucky
sure.
13. Have a good night, all. Jojo, thank you, ladies. Stay safe. Katie said, night. Reading keeps your mind active. It definitely does.
Very cool.
I think that's it, right?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for
Hey,
tuning
Tamil.
in.
Yes.
Hi, Tamil. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at 6 p.m. PST.
Bye.
Bye for now.